However, in this short video, I'm going to be talking about dynamic NAT configuration. Dynamic NAT is something really important. It provides a dynamic one-to-one mappings between inside and outside addresses for a range of hosts. Now, this is one of the three flavors of NAT, the others being static NAT and NAT overload or portable NAT PAT. So, the thing is, do we know how to configure it? Well, if you don't worry, because I'm going to walk through it. Basically, important to know, the default timeout for dynamic NAT entries is 24 hours. You can use IP NAT translation timeout, this command, to configure this value. Now, the process, there's 5 steps, right? So we need to configure the router's inside interface using the IP NAT inside command, configure the router's outside interface using the IP NAT outside command, configure an ACL that has a list of the inside source addresses that will be translated, configure a pool of global IP of the global IP addresses that are going to be using the NAT pool. Okay, this is the syntax. So the name, the first IP address, last IP address, the net mask, the subnet mask. I'll show you that. And then enabling dynamic NAT with the IP NAT inside source list command. Then we specify the ACL number, and then enter pool, and then the name of the pool. So let's have a look at this. So we need to go into global configuration mode on our router. First, do show IP interface brief. This shows us, okay, we've got gig Ethernet 00 and 00, gig Ethernet 0/1. So 00, that is the that's going to be used for the IP NAT outside there. That's the interface that's going to be used for IP NAT outside. We configure outside IP NAT outside on that, and that's going to be the one we configure for IP NAT inside. So interface gigabit Ethernet 0/1, IP NAT inside, okay, and then internet. Then we go into interface gigabit Ethernet 0/0, IP NAT outside, and then what we do is what we need to do is we need to configure those the NAT pool. So sorry, it doesn't fully show, but what I had to type in was IP NAT. I had to do IP NAT and then specify a pool name. So I just chose NAT pool, and then 192.0.2.9, 192.0.2.14. That's the range of public IP addresses that I'm going to be allowing use for translation, and then the network mask there, just configured for sanity checking. The subnet mask is valid, and then access list 1 permit 192.168.100.32.00.0.15. Okay, so that's the access list they're created to allow addresses within this subnet to be used for translation to public addresses. So we do the IP NAT inside and IP NAT outside on the gigabit Ethernet interfaces. Then IP NAT inside source list, 1 pool NAT pool. So this is the part where we actually do we bind them together, and then we can do IP NAT translation. At first you won't see anything, but once you do pings from PC1 to PC2, from PC1 to web server 1, in this case we were trying to allow access to a web server from PC1 and PC2 to a web server which was in a different network connected to a different router. That worked, and then we could do show IP NAT translations to see these to see this updated. And that's how we do dynamic NAT configuration. So thank you for watching.